So I done goofed. I recorded two whole episodes, and both of them had no audio. So I get to start over. And I've done quite a bit since the last time you guys saw me. So Shengraph has actually moved out. He now has his own base. As you can see here, though, we do have a portal which links our bases, so I can go over and see what he's up to. Um, I've been doing a lot of mining. I actually have an ender quarry that's running on wind power now, as is a lot of my base, but we'll get to that. So, as of right now, ow, this is where most of you've seen last. I have enchanting. We have a chicken farm. His blood magic was here, but he did move out. He did leave a couple chests full of things. I might pick up and start doing some of the blood magic stuff, but we'll see. This is now running on pulverizers. I have four pulverizers in here that are grinding up grinders. I'm sorry, grinders that are killing Oops. Oh, that works. Killing mobs. For some reason, it's not killing this guy. Awkward. Oh, there it goes. And picking up items and mob juice. Oops. Hold on. There we go. Let me get up here. Let me put on my jetpack and get out of here. Oops. So I'm getting some. I had it running for the blazes for a while, but I now have over 1,000 blaze rods. So I figured I'd start working on something else like string and spider eyes. Also, I'm getting the main reason I'm keeping it running though is because I'm pulling out. Yeah, there's been some improvements here. I'll go over that in a minute. I'm pulling out mob essence. And I'm doing it all through Tesseract. So, yeah, let's... I got a lot of stuff I gotta go over, so I'm just gonna start on one end, go out the other. So I now have, as I mentioned, I do have wind energy. And I have that wind energy going into a Tesseract, which I'm then using to pull out the energy for this. And actually, I think this is the only thing. Oh no, this and my quarry are running off of the wind power. It's also pulling. The quarry is now also pulling out fluids, which is why I have a bunch of oil and lava. And yeah, and then of course all the items, which are actually being stored in deep storage. So I've got one for, well, a majority of things. I mean, as you can see here, I have 11 million stone, almost 12 million stone stored. And we got more down there of just, basic ores. A lot of these 1 millions, 93,000s, yeah. I have all of these going into deep storage so that way it doesn't fill up my ME storage system. I am running mostly on 1K drives. I got a couple of 4Ks and one 16. So, I apologize. I thought I had that muted. Okay, so mostly 1K, a couple 4Ks, and a 16. I really should organize those, put some of the ores from these into that 16K, but that's okay. All of these are running off of the lava that's being generated by the quarry. I'm just going into a 16 times lava generator and just transferring all that juice into each of these. So I've got a lot of the same machines: pulverizer, energetic infuser, sag mill. Got a couple of mechanism items. Not sure if I use the enrichment for... currently I use this for redstone and lapis. That's the fastest... I mean, you get like 16 lapis out of 1 lapis ore. So this is the best process for that. Metallurgic infuser is what I'm using for... I take the redstone, I put it into osmium and iron, and that's what makes the parts for the windmills, which I'll be showing later. The magma crucible melts down items. Mostly what I use it for is melting down the ender. I take ender pearls, melt them down, and then pour them into a tesseract frame to make the tesseract. Induction smelter is used for building some of the high tier items, and then alloy smelter, which is still part of this Ender IO, and I use that for making fusing quartz, making fused quartz. So, but let's see, and then each of these items dump into the Ender chest, which I have on my triple purple frequency, which is then dumping into my storage system. I've got a storage bus back here, import bus back here, which is pouring into my storage system. And because of these storage buses, these pull items first before it goes into my drives, which is how I still have so many green lights, despite having thousands upon thousands of items. So... also, my Tesseract is receiving items from my quarry, which is dumping into the chest, which is dumping into the system. I'll be showing off the quarry later. It's come a long way since my last recording. So I've also got a couple of... let me take that off there. Got a couple of cables coming off of my ME controller. As you can see, I'm using 32 channels here just for storage. So there's at least 32 storage units all sitting between here and there. And then I have another dense cable. Let's see, go ahead and take that off there. Which is using all 32 channels. Speaking of, you need to have an ME controller to be able to use 32 channels. That's why I was so hardcore about needing to get ME controllers early on. So this is connected to a few things. It's connected to a couple of crafting storage devices, which allow me to automate things. This one even has a coprocessor, so it can do multiple things at once. This ME interface is actually being used for a charger, which actually allows me to, and I'll just show you. Let's go down to charged. There it is. Charged Certus quartz. So if I center click on this, there we go. I can tell it I want 40 of these, and I don't have enough Certus quartz. So I'm gonna have to do something to give myself. I'll have to do something with the Certus quartz to actually make charged Certus quartz. I do have a plan to make a Fortune Breaker Plus. King Daddy DMAC recently did a video because they updated a couple of the mods, and it's slightly easier to make the item I want to make, but that's going to be... I might do that later this episode, not sure yet. Depends on how time runs. So the charger... well, I guess I can just do... how many Certus? 4? Okay, I guess I can just make 4. Hit start, and it pulls out those 4, puts them into a storage computer, and puts the item in, and imports it back into the... I think I have an import bus on here somewhere. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Well, you can see more of the stuff. But, I think that's just my power going into it. I guess I have... import bus down here? I guess not. Okay. I guess the ME interface takes care of the import for me. Alrighty then. I'll just plop those cable covers back on there, and we'll get back to what we were doing. I've got more covers in there anyway. So the cable does run over here, and as you can see, it goes into Well, my inscribers. It looks ugly. I really want to cover it up, put it somewhere else. But for now, what this allows me to do, and again, I go into the crafting system and say I want 100 silicon presses for whatever reason. It'll go in and see, okay, do I have the parts for it? If I don't have the parts for it, can it make the parts for it? So for example, if I had an interface over here that said, oh, take 3 pieces of sand to make 1 piece of silicon, it'll go ahead and make those for me, so that way it has it for the inscriber. But that's next tier applied energetics, which, yeah, I'll be getting to sometime. I'm thinking I'm going to expand. I really need to expand my base, especially down here. But that's going to be a whole nother project. So, yeah. For example, let's say I want to make a processor. Let's say a calculation processor. So I've got the 10 pure certus. It needs to craft 10 of the printed calculation, so it can craft 10 of the calculation processors. So I'll go ahead and hit start on that. And if we come over here, you'll see it went ahead and put the pure in there. It's pulling it back out and goes up here. And if it is using this one, so you'll notice it is running, trying to run both at once. There we go. Okay. This is the slowest part of applied energetics. It's really the hardest part to get. Honestly, what you have to do is just build 500 of each of these processors and just have them stored and have them ready to go, because it takes quite a long time to make each of the pieces necessary. So, and as you can see, that is just slowly punching out those calculation processors for me. So up here, we have... So I think in the last episode I had the cobblestone generator right here. Well, I ended up hooking that into a system to compress it, and it drained the entire deep storage. So I just went ahead and created a new cobblestone generator. Each of these are producing... Notice they have 32 world interaction upgrades. That means that each tick, it's producing 32 more cobblestone. Which is honestly too fast for this thing. But I'm having to find a fine line between producing cobblestone and how quickly it pulls it out. I think I can put that in there. Perfect. So, as you can see, this is getting completely filled up with cobblestone. Which is actually these 2 sets of ender chests, as you can see. And those are going into, as you can see, a crafting table, which a world interaction and upgrade is then compressing them. Takes the 9 cobblestone, puts it into each of the spots, and creates compressed cobblestone, which is then being pulled out and turned into double compressed. So double compressed, triple, 4, 5, 6, 7, which it is bottlenecking, and that's where I'm trying to find the fine line between the cobblestone generation and how quickly this can pull out. Because as you can see, this is producing as fast as this can take it, but then there's our one of our bottlenecks, and it just slows down from there. So eventually I might make another set of 9 chests, have that going into, well, as you can see, just the 1 chest that's being pulled out. And then once I have stacks starting to pile up in here, do the same thing for the compressed, and then do the same thing for double. And eventually just it's not necessary, but what it does is once I get the octuple, I do have it dumping into here. And what you can do with the octuple, let's do that and then take a piece of oak. Speaking of, that's something I need to automate because I'm going to need a lot of wood later on. Oops. Just dump that in there. Let's see if I can grab this before the item transfer node does. Nope. There we go. Okay. Whoa. And now we have slowness 4. Because this thing is pure bedrockium ingots. No diamonds necessary, just pure bedrockium. So I'll go ahead and dump that back in there. And I now have 15 bedrockium ingots, so at least 2 more bedrockium barrels if I really wanted to. Which, as you can see, these things have a storage capacity of 65,000 buckets. And actually, I'm almost already full on oil. I probably got another day or two before I have to replace that barrel. So, let's see. So, up here... Oh, one more thing downstairs I completely forgot is I did find some ender lily seeds. So, I've just went ahead and planted them here, and as they become mature, I go ahead and harvest them and replant that one seed. They're really slow, but, I mean, it is free ender pearls that I don't have to go down and murder endermen for. I mean, I'm not hurting for pearls, but I could use automation for that. So, that is going to be a thing. My wall of death actually is about where it was before. I mean, I've got quite a few deaths, but I've actually stopped dying as much. And the reason why, and that's part of the reason why I did so much of this automation, is I am now wearing the AE armor, called Flux Infused Armor. As you can see, the durability is 400,000. And honestly, as long as it has durability, it will continue taking damage. I will not take damage. Poison will still hurt me, but it can't kill me. So, yeah, I think witches might be able to kill me because of their potions of harm. I have no clues what those are. Okay. Computer craft. Huh, I might look into that later. So, yeah, that's the thing. But I do have to keep switching my chest plate for my leadstone jetpack when I want to fly. So, I want to fix that. And I've been waiting for you guys so I can show you how I did it. Because I've got all the parts ready. Oh. I forgot to put my pattern back. There we go. Once I start creating more automation, I will go into depth of how each of these items work. Because I will be automating a lot of these machines, so that way I can just click a button and pulverize cobblestone into sand, and then turn sand into silicon and things like that. Because I'm going to need it. It'll make my life so much easier. As King Daddy D-Mac put it in his latest episode 91, I think it was, he was talking about the fact that he doesn't craft things anymore. He just goes into this menu and says, I want lapis, and he'll center click it and he'll generate lapis. Or he has something set up where it'll automatically make lapis for him if he drops under a certain amount. I mean, it's just, automation is going to make my life so much easier, and I can focus on other things like Botania or Ars Magica. So, let's see. I need jetpacks. So, Tier 1 leadstone. Tier 2 is the hardened jetpack. And as you can see, this uses Invar and the hardened flux capacitor. And a lot of specific items. Again, not enough items is your best friend. But if we click here and center click, I have all the parts, and I just drop this leadstone in here, and we now have a hardened jetpack. Now if we take that and add the reinforced jetpack, which uses a lot of electrum, redstone flux capacitors, and signalum, this stuff was fun. Because I had to make a bunch of copper dust, and I had to use that magma crucible to melt down redstone, put it into a bucket. Let me show you the setup for that real quick. So I got the magma crucible, and then it's outputting directly into the fluid transposer, which which has the inputting, and then I just drop a bucket here, and it creates buckets of destabilized redstone. Really neat, really neat. Oops. So we just click here, center click here, and already ready to go. And I still got a little bit of charge from these two items, so that's going to be... It'll have a little bit of a charge starting out. So, Tier 3 was reinforced. Tier 4 is resonant. This uses a lot of Enderium ingots, which, similar to the previous tier, but instead of redstone, it's resonant ender, which is, you take the ender pearls, you melt them down, you put them in a bucket. And then, yeah, you had to use a lot of Enderium. And Lumium. Lumium was fun because it required energized glowstone. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff. As I said, I did a lot of this work off camera because... Whoops, resonant. I'm up to resonant. There we go. Yeah, this was a lot of... Because I don't have the automation, it was, okay, run over here, go grab this piece, run back here, make this piece. Oop, I had to use up my hardened flux capacitor to make the redstone flux capacitor, so now I don't have a... yeah. A lot of recreating lower tier items. So now, as you can see here, is a flux-infused jet plate. 50 million RF. It works just the same as a flux-infused chest plate, but it also works as a charger for my items and a jetpack. And all I had to do was, you know, create cryothium dust by making... And I ended up making blizz powder by pouring... let's see, destabilized redstone into snowballs. Yeah, I had to go on an adventure just to find snow. But now that it's all completed... Oh, and glowstone elevation, which glowstone into this item, which required more lumium. Yeah. Lots of steps. Lots of steps that I ended up... Oh! That's right. I need to take my resonant jetpack and my Enderium armor plating. So I need my resonant jetpack, my Enderium armor plating, and that is so much easier than having to search through chests upon chests of items. I think I've shift right click. There we go. Now drop that right in the middle, and we have ourselves... You know what? Let's leave that chest plate for later in case I need it. Let's grab this one that I'm currently wearing. And does it keep the... It does not keep the enchantments. That's okay. We can re-enchant it. But if I click this, I now have a chest plate that works as... Let's see. I can fly. Whoa. It has a hover mode as well. Oh, and it actually hovers. It doesn't just kind of keep me floating. It actually keeps me flying. And then a charging mode, which allows me to charge items like my lumber axe that I made before. Which I did find out, I think right after that episode, what I have to do is have the charger running, and then have the Alamite lumber axe in my hand, and then it'll recharge the item. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to dump this... Whoops. I'm going to take off this chest plate and put it in here for now. And this is going to take a while. So that's going to take all the energy this thing currently has, and then some. I don't even know if my transfer node can keep about 1,000 a tick. That's going to take a while. So, but that's okay. In the meantime, while that's charging, I can go upstairs and start showing you some of the other stuff. So, of course, all the chests are gone, but that's because I moved it all downstairs in that storage unit. Got one drum full. I've got a second one that's starting to fill up. And I did find out, if you right-click the XP tank, it gives you a level. So I can just keep doing that, which is why I've got it going into the drum and then into this, so I can actually right-click it and pull out levels. So that way I can, if I need experience, I can just take it, go, you know, right-click it till I have the levels I want, go upstairs and start enchanting. Let's Let's see, what else? I guess up to the next floor. Current projects. Oh, you are so far behind. So, Flux Infused Armor. Done. Cursed Earth. Actually done. That is what is powering my spawners in that room, so that way I don't have to stand near it. Second smeltery. Actually, that is downstairs. I forgot to show that. So right over here is my second smeltery. So yeah, that ender tank actually is going into my seared tank as well. So I've got plenty of lava. Of course, I have plenty of lava. And I can just dump items in here, smelt them. I have an autonomous activator here to just pour out bars of the items, which then go into ender chest and go into storage. So it's all in one nice, neat little place. I've started recreating some of my patterns. I think I actually rebuilt all of the ones I built before. I just need to move a couple of the pattern stuff down here, so that way I can actually build them if necessary. Alright, so the only thing I haven't done, deep storage, bedrockium, more power, yeah, I've got that. I need to wire the tree with AE. And again, that's probably going to be something I do off camera, but probably what I'm going to end up doing is picking one of these pillars, basically, and running a wire all the way up and down. And I'm probably just going to do an 8-channel, and on every floor to 2 floors, I'll put in a one of these interfaces. So I can literally just, anywhere in my base, I can right-click and grab and access all of my storage items. And the beautiful thing is those wires have an unlimited distance. So as for current, I don't have any current projects, actually. Because I did a lot of it off camera, whether I meant to or not. Some of it I actually did on camera and lost it. So let's see. Oh, and if you notice, the world is not lagging nearly as bad. I did end up putting in Fastcraft on our server. It helps so much. So this is still running with maximum enchantments. Max enchantment level 42. Beautiful. Glorious. So let's see. Go upstairs, and we have the QED machine with a couple more Ender Flux crystals to try and speed it up a little bit. Because every so often I do run into a case where I need a QED something. Let's go upstairs. We got a bed, of course. Got beds everywhere. And actually, I think that's aside from Botania, which I now have an elevator up to. And the only thing I've added here is the Intropinium. And what that does, let's grab some TNT, throw it on the redstone, and boom. It absorbs it all and makes it mana. It makes generating mana a little easier, though I've got one full mana tablet and a band of mana that is completely full just because of this band of aura, and because I've been running around doing a lot of little things. So when I get back into Botania, I've got plenty of power to work with. I need better mana generation, which Shingraph is going to help me with. He owes me, so he's going to be making me a... Now that he has an... and that's actually what I can go show you. He does have a... he did get to Witch Power. He is now Witch Powered for his... Ooh, pretty. Stuff. Let's see. So let's go ahead and turn that off. And I actually am not... Oh, right. I think he's down this hill here. Is that a... That must be a Covenant Witch. I hope I can get back up this hill. Let's see. Yeah, that's a Coven Witch. Okay. So that's a witchery thing. I don't have witchery magic, so she'll ignore me. So let's see, somewhere over here. It's got a nice little area. There it is. Whoops. Oh, right, he's actually got a couple of witch spawners down here so we can pick up more witches. Handy. So, coming over here. I actually might steal one of those if he lets me, so I can actually set up a similar thing on mine. So as you can see, he has his altar up to tier, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's got the trench for 5, but he hasn't set it up yet. That's because he needs beacons, which means he needs to kill a lot of withers, which, yeah. And I think he's wearing full soul armor now, if I'm not mistaken. So if I think somewhere around one of these tiers, there it is. There's this Well of Suffering. And in each of these corners, I think, I don't hear anything, so he must have a silencer down here somewhere. In each of these corners, oops, there's one that's not full. He has like 7 witches on each of these. Let's see if I can peek in here. So yeah, you can see them taking damage and healing themselves. So it's all self-sustaining. So yeah, this Well of Suffering is just generating mana for him, so just keeps pouring it on into his network because he has the orb on top, which disappears when it's not facing you. Because that's a thing. Alright. And he's got a rogue. Nice. Alright, well that's his base setup. Oh, looks like he has... Whoops. He did a little bit of AE, looks like. Got himself a sag mill. Doesn't currently have any power, but I think what he's doing is he's using blood magic to create pools of lava, picking up with buckets and dumping them straight in. Functional, but yeah, he'll be... I know he's gonna be doing better. He's gonna make an endless pool of lava using a ritual and all that fun stuff. So you can see here, he moved his airship over here and removed his quarry stuff. Interesting. I wonder what he's planning. I'll have to talk with him sometime. And down here... Oops. Let's get up and over here. There we go. I think he... I think he had some sort of zombie thing going on. But I haven't... Oh, witch. Huh. So he's got witches in there. I wonder what he's planning. Alright, well, so that's everything that's happened. So now, I guess I'll head back to my base and let's see what we can work on. Oh yeah, this is so cool. I completely forgot he'd done this. So, notice it's nighttime, but we're not currently being attacked. And the reason why is actually right here. A magnum torch. Let's see if I can just hit you on it. Nope, okay. What this does is it makes it so mobs cannot spawn in a very wide area. So it looks like he did a bit of brewing and a bit of QED, and he made himself something that makes his area literally just safe. No mobs, no problems. Got a Coven Witch, but I mean, that's actually a neutral mob. Positive one if you actually are in Witchery, because they, the more witches you have in your Coven, the more powerful your spells are. So, yeah. We might have to look into doing that over by our base. That would be handy. Alright, so... Right click, dial my base, and... Oh, it's purple. With green sparks. That's cool. So we set it up differently than I did for his base. That works. Alright, actually, he's the one who set up the portal dialing to his base, so... Alright, oh... And the mining world. I guess that's where I'll go next. Whoops. So, because of a... Okay, I'm going to have to figure out where that came from, because that's not good. So we actually our mining world actually got reset because of a recent update to Modsauce. And so I went ahead and there was a meteor here, so I went ahead and quarried it out. That kind of left this sitting on the a precipice, but that's okay. So let's see. We go. I did set up an elevator system to. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that thing was just floating there. So plop it down right there. There we go. How's my power doing? Only holding 192 RF per tick. So it's sending it out just as fast as it can pull it in. Alright. So yeah, I need to... What I really want to do is I need to expand this and have a couple different... actually, in the end this won't be here, but eventually I'm going to spread this, make this platform a full chunk. And then that's going to be... I guess it's all going to be windmills for now. I'll go into solar power later, because solar power has so many steps in it. I'd rather get my automation set up so I can start auto-crafting them. So all the way down here, about 800 blocks away, I went ahead and created my next quarry. Thing is I did a couple of 250 by 250s to start, and, well, you'll see when I get there. Alright, well, as you can see, this stretches as far as the eye can see. And there are some, as you can see, there's still some lava, still some water, but that's because it skips things on occasion, which is okay. I mean, as you saw, we're still getting thousands upon thousands of buckets worth of lava and water and everything else. And it just kind of looks cool. Speaking of looking cool, I think what I'm going to do is, if I go into Blood Magic, I think I'm going to use that original quarry and build it floating right there in the middle. What do you guys think? Okay, here's my quarry. So you can see I'm doing it, I set it up for a 250 by 500. So this is, there were two 250 quarries here. So now it's 500 length, so I did another 250 by 500. And I'm running Silk Touch, I'm running the World Hole, so it actually takes all the grass. I'm doing the pump upgrade, so it's pulling out water and lava and the liquid essence for the Ars Magica. And the quarry speed too. As you can see, there's just enough RF to keep it running. Really need to upgrade my power. And the Tesseract is giving it the energy and sending the items and fluid. So, and you guys saw the other end of that. You saw the items and the fluids being sorted and taken care of. So let's go this way, see if I can find the edge of my quarry. Actually, you know what? It's probably this way. Let's try not to run into it because, well, we don't have a jetpack right now and we'll be literally stuck at the bottom of a mine. Whoop, there it is. As you can see, I can't even see the other end of it. Just one big hole. Yep, and then there's the other part of the core, the other two cores I did. So, it's big, and it's, as you saw, producing lots of resources. So, and actually, because they put in the Botania flowers here, I'm also getting a bunch of Botania flowers without having to go out and mine them myself. So, makes my job easier. I almost feel sorry for the animals. Almost. Anyway, I'm going to head back to base, and I will meet you there. Alright, so it turns out I'm out of time. I'm trying to keep these episodes down to about half an hour, so I'm going to be doing the editing as I'm recording, and I'm already at over half an hour. So, thank you. Next time, I'm going to actually do something rather than doing these tours, because I'm sure you actually want to see how I do the automation and things like that. But if there is anything specific you would like to see me do, let me know in the comments below. Please like the video if you do enjoy my content. and subscribe if you want to see more. So, I do want to thank you all, and have a wonderful day.